Hello, friends. Walton Jones here. I'm the rector of the Episcopal Church of the Resurrection here in beautiful Stark, Vegas, just up the road from you. And I used to serve there at wonderful St. Paul's Episcopal Church. And for those of you who can remember that far back, it was an honor to be able to serve you then, and it's an honor to speak to you now. But I've been asked to come to you today and talk to you about what matters. I have pressed record on my camera to talk to you about my Jeep. I mean, not really, but hold up and hear me out. You see, I was knee deep in this pandemic a good number of months in, and I needed some release, and I did this crazy thing. I bought a 1980 Jeep CJ5 in Chattanooga from a buddy, or a neighbor of a buddy. We worked on it as best we could to get her going because it had been sitting up for a good long while. And I drove it back to Starkville on the back roads of Alabama at about 40 miles an hour because it wouldn't go much faster than that. It took me 10 hours to get home in August with no doors, with no top, with no sunscreen and no cap. But I made it. And it was a blast. And ever since then, I've been putting all of my extra time, it seems like, into Jeep projects. She now handles beautifully, you'll be glad to know. I don't have to keep her at 45 miles an hour anymore. She's clean and the brakes work, the oil leaks have been fixed, and I drive this little Jeep most every day, and it's been really good for my mental health. Now, admittedly, I have a real vehicle. I have a Honda Odyssey, which is what every good parent should drive, I think. I arrived in Meridian in 2007 with my original 1995 Odyssey. When I was there, I bought a 2005 Odyssey. Since I've been here, I bought a 2018 Odyssey. All of them white, all of them boring, all of them functional. But these days, that wonderful vehicle is parked out underneath the pine trees, and the Jeep has a spot in the carport. The old Jeep is more interesting. And the thing is, right now, I'm more invested in the Jeep. Which brings me to my point. Clearly, right now, my heart is with the Jeep. I buy parts and supplies for it at least every week, if not multiple times a week. It's like a ritual of giving. And I'm shopping for a top. Don't tell my wife. Those are about $1,000. But if I consider getting a top, then I'm excited about working on it to get the heat going so that I would have an area. I'm excited about the next thing because it matters to me. That Jeep is where I've been investing definitely my money, but also my time, my skill. And investing and having something that matters has done wonders for my state of mind. Now, I told you that I come to talk to you about what matters. The Jeep, as you might have guessed, is just an example. I am wearing a collar, after all. An example of investment of time and talent and treasure. You've heard those words before. And when there is an investment of those things, it shows that something matters to you. Interestingly enough, when you invest those things in something, that thing becomes something that increasingly matters to you the more you give. And in the end, as much as I'm enjoying that Jeep, it's just an old rusty truck. It doesn't matter. What matters, and frankly what I'm much more excited about, is God's ministry going on in my local church. We're doing great things at Resurrection. We just raised a bunch of money for outreach, and we're gathering in new and exciting ways and offering virtual services and experiences, and I'm sure you guys are doing amazing things there at St. Paul's because you always have. You're a group of amazing people, amazing community that do wonderful things in the name of Christ. But the great things that happen there at St. Paul's and in the community aren't just the great things that you do. It's the great things that God is doing through you. And that's exciting. I personally, right now, I'm excited about what's going on here at Resurrection. I'm engaged. And so I want to support that. And I do it with my time, of course, and with the gifts I have, of course, but also I support it with my pledge. I finally hit 10% giving this year. Hooray. I'm pretty excited. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, tither, right here. Maybe not. I don't think my mom would approve. But I invest these things in my church because I believe that it matters, that church matters, that the ministry of God in this place matters. And the more I invest, it keeps mattering more to me. It's a wonderful cycle. So this year, I encourage you to invest in what matters. I mean, buy an old Jeep if you want. I will talk to you about Jeeps and may have a few tips about how to fix things. But more importantly, invest in St. Paul's. Invest in your local community of faith and in God's ministry there. Give what you have for the sake of love, because the world needs that right now. It needs it so much. Give because it matters. Give in becoming an increasingly connected part of that wonderful community that we call the church. I love you guys. I miss you. May God continue to bless St. Paul's.